All right, we're here. We're ready to go. Oh wait, no, we're not. Clovis isn't here. The
I thought
offline picture of shame. Again, his is pretty good. I feel like he's drinking some kind of a drink at like a wedding, or they look like wedding chairs. Um, how's everybody been? I know we've
Doing
been
all right.
chatting for the last half an hour for while we've been getting ready, but let everybody know. Let everybody else know how
What?
you're doing. I had a little bit of a stroke. Actually, I bit my cheek while
Oh,
we were having dinner, and usually Magnolia is the one that bites her cheek. And when it happened, I just looked at her and I was like, "Daddy bit his cheek, and it really hurts too." And I feel like it really helped her, which is good, because she needs all the help she can get. We all do.
I remember when we were at that farm place with the pumpkin patch.
Uh,
Felicity bit her cheek like on 10 different occasions, and we kept giving her the apple juice slushy thing.
Oh,
Just like every 5 minutes, I bit my cheek. Aw, do you
yeah,
want some of this? It's cold. She's like, yes, liar.
it's she's a manipulative monster, is
Okay.
what that is. That's Felicity. Um,
Crack me up.
yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that's the worst thing to happen. Like it hurts so much, and then you keep doing it because you can't, because then it's inflamed, and it's like
oh
you're gonna
yeah.
bite it again, and there's really no fixing it. So
I, I did that earlier this week. It was bad.
yeah, it's just not fun. It's not fun for anyone.
I can't really bite my cheek anymore. My when I had braces for forever, it scarred all along the inside of my mouth, so I
Oh,
can't. I don't feel it when I do bite my cheek.
it's
Like just the entirety of the inside of my mouth along where I would bite my cheek is scarred. So it's
well,
cool
our
because
parents loved you enough to get you braces,
and I appreciate that.
so
Yeah,
there's that.
yeah,
He's a younger one? Huh.
I know,
yeah.
right? It seems
It's
weird.
crazy how that
That's
works.
okay. My older sister had braces, but I didn't.
But they were supposed to have wasted all that money on me so he couldn't get them.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. It wasn't like they were making much more money at that point and they're like, oh, now we can afford braces. No, they just, I don't know. Maybe they thought this poor kid, he's just behind the eight ball. So
Look at him.
His large front
Have you
teeth.
have you seen this kid? He needs as much help as possible.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
not gifted in the social department. So,
not
At all.
remotely.
oh man, good times, fun. Anything exciting or fun happen while we've been on break for the week? I know that Clovis had his fun, exciting moment, but I'm sure he'll tell us about that when he gets on in 30 minutes. Um,
Poor Clovis.
fun not being the real term to use for what happened to him, but it's something. Um, I know that Corbin, you sent off some pretty sweet pictures from camping. Was that current or is that just from a
That was
previous
my
time?
that was a previous trip, but yeah, Chad was curious what I do for fun.
Oh, well, it did look beautiful. Both sides, like looking, the opposite direction also looked amazing. Like from where you came to where you went. Very cool.
So, so you've walked pretty much the full eastern seaboard, right?
Mm, Inland a bit, but yeah, Georgia to Maine.
Right. So,
Along the
how
mountains.
do you feel like Colorado then compares to the best bits of what we got over on East
I
Coast?
uh, I would say the Smoky Mountains and then New England are really good. The middle's terrible, in my opinion. Like that includes everywhere
Mm,
I've lived in, like PA, Maryland, Virginia. But
But
the middle's
especially PA,
no.
I like PA.
but not Pittsburgh. Oh.
No,
Hmm.
no, I like the boonies of Pennsylvania. Mm.
But what about like compared to the entirety of your experience walking the trail? Like where does that rank? Like the totality of it?
I
Mm.
don't know what you mean.
Like
Give
compared
me.
to what's out there in Denver?
I mean, it's you can get like the highlight reel out here pretty quick compared to what was out there. Like the White Mountains in New Hampshire are comparable to what's out here, except it's I don't know, it's a little different. But um, the White Mountains are my favorite out east, and then here would be the Rockies, obviously.
Sure. Okay. I think what you've done is rather impressive. So
Yes,
It's,
I'm impressed. I haven't specifically said so. No. No.
The hard part is getting 6 months off work. Gotta quit.
Jeez.
yeah, and that's what you did. I mean, and it worked. So I mean, you timed that really well, and when you moved out there, it all seemed to kind of come together. So I think that was that worked for you.
Yarp.
And you did all that
Do you-
planning. I thought that was really cool, like all the down to the ounce kind of planning, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, that's just gear planning. Like trip planning, I planned the first 30 miles and then it was just winging it the whole time.
Really?
How many miles was it?
2280 something. It changes every year depending on what they do.
That's more than a
That's a
couple.
lot.
Yeah.
It's like 5 Lord of the Rings hikes or something, like taking it to Mordor.
One does
How
not
much did
simply
you wind
walk.
up dropping
There-
on
there-
gear?
There and back again.
Not that much. Like 2-3 grand total, but I mean it lasts for years and years and years, so it's worth it.
And also, how much did you drop on the poundage?
Didn't you say like 25?
50 pounds. I lost 50
50.
pounds, and
Holy
That's
smokes!
crazy.
yeah, you get to eat whatever you want. One time we were at a diner and we ordered everything like appetizers, main course, and like a milkshake. And then the waitress comes up and was like, "So anything else?" We're like, "Yeah, we'll do that again." She's like, "What do you mean? All of it? We'll just do it again."
That
Oh my
order.
God.
Make it happen.
Yeah, so you can eat horrifying amounts of food.
You can eat, period. Yeah.
You can eat like Anthony.
I like food. I'm a fan.
Anthony was like, "Oh yeah, I'm having some cookies and I'm gonna have a root beer
Some more
float,
cookies.
and then I think I'm probably gonna get some more cookies and also another root beer float."
I usually stick to just one. Jeez.
Sure.
Yes, because
Okay.
you have to share it with me.
You better share, Anthony. Next time,
No.
bring enough for everyone, jerk. Okay, so we know that Clovis is going to be a little bit late. So you guys are going to be able to run with the reins and choose your own adventure without him, and he's just going to be along for the ride on the tagging along. So
Throw them to the sharks.
yeah, if you want to
Aw.
throw back in the ocean,
It's nice
God.
to know you.
it's
They might not even want him. He's been so chewed up now. So
for what it's
Not
worth.
much
I-
left.
I felt really, really bad because I felt like I put his character through so much trauma during the week, and then real life trauma happens, and that's less fun. So,
he can be like his character. We have to like carry him right now around because he can't walk.
yes. Oh man, that'll make for a really good like, performance on stage, with you guys wheeling him around. That'd be kind of funny. I like it. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get a recap. Anybody want to tell us what happened last time on the Real House-elves?
I vote Miss Gallanoodle. Informs us
Gala-
all.
All right,
Scallanoodle?
Miss Gallanoodle.
Noodle.
Gallon noodle.
Gallanoodle.
I
Gallanoodle.
honestly, I don't know how it's
Galay
Gallanoodle.
noodle. Galay noodle.
Gallanoodle.
It's definitely
I,
no.
I have no idea.
You have no
And
idea what we
there's only
did.
one. Oh, I got
Oh.
this out of the book. Okay.
Yeah, Gallanoodle. It's
I
clear.
got mine out of the book too, but I can say mine.
Yeah, he's got a point.
You play
Good point.
Warcraft.
Yeah, that's why I picked it.
Alliance scum.
I've done Alliance. It's just a place.
All right, so
Um,
does that mean that the Gallanoodle is going to tell us what's going on?
She gonna attempt to.
All right.
Alright.
So after we decided to go after the one ship and blow up some sharks and stuff, we decided to try again with the other remaining ships, and Corbin, Spangle, and Clovis all jumped into the water to go for their respective ships and found some booty, while Kair and I decided to stay up and look at things and watched an impending storm come through. And then there was like the storm came in, and then they had to swim back to shore, and it was a hard time. It was a bad storm. And
It
then we
was-
kept falling down the cliff too. That didn't help. Kair and I. See, I'm bad at these.
We
No, you're
tried
doing
to help.
great.
We only made it sort of worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did make it a lot worse. You know, the people that we were helping onto the cliff ended up helping us onto the cliff.
It's
It was a little
it's
backwards.
team effort. It's some give and take.
Yeah,
And
everybody
thank-
stayed
thank you.
nice and safe relatively.
Nobody died.
And anything else happen?
I found a piece of glass.
Yeah. What can you tell us about it?
Uh, it was a shimmery piece of glass that I still have no idea what it does, or did, or was from.
But you're like keeping it in the forefront of your mind, and it's always the
Yeah.
thing that comes to mind when you think like, oh, what did we do? Oh yeah, I found that glass, right? Like, like Jason
plan on throwing it at
clearly
Kaya
wouldn't have just
eventually.
given it to
Why?
me
What?
for no reason. It probably serves some purpose,
Mm.
right? Like
Yep.
that keeps going through your mind.
Yeah.
Clearly,
It does.
obviously. Okay, so all that happened, and now where are you?
We are getting ready to head back to town so we can watch the B4 concert, and hopefully Clovis will be there to perform.
Hope you guys get there before it starts.
I've got the sparkle wand. I've got like the light spell.
Yeah, no, you are all ready to go. I think that I don't know if Clovis has used all of his charges of the lightning, but
I think he's got one left.
he may have one left. I'm not
He
sure.
could kill the audience.
He could.
Yeah.
He could just emperor kind of the audience. That would be great. All right, so let's give advantage over here to Beatrice, and you earned that by giving the recap. Thank you very much, Miss Galanoodle. Impressive, wonderful. That's what we like
I
to
had
hear.
it last week, and then Anthony was like, "Nah, I got this."
Yeah, but all he had to do is like say, "Oh, we killed some sharks."
Yeah, exactly. It would've been
And I
easy for me.
did say that.
I did admit this to Corbin last week. I wholeheartedly expected this last session to be you guys saying, "Okay, we go loot the boats." And instead of you guys saying that, you were all like, "I don't want to go in the water. I don't want to go in the water." So I was like, "Okay, well, we'll make this a thing then, because you don't get them easy if you're not going to go and be adventurers." Because that was like one of the only things that I required from you as far as creating characters. Like, be excited for adventure. So if you would have just jumped in the water and said, "I'm gonna go search that one, I'm gonna search that one, and I'm gonna search that one," I would have said, "Okay, you found this, this, and this," and then it would have been back to New Phandalin. But no. So remember that. That's very important, and that won't always be
Just
the case.
murderous dungeon master.
Yeah,
Got it.
it was vengeful. I don't know if it was murderous. I didn't kill anybody yet.
You tried.
You
I did.
tried.
I tried pretty
really,
hard.
really hard.
Well, yeah.
Like
We
poor
almost all
Clovis.
died. It was like
As a-
3 dice rolls, one way or the other.
For what it's worth, if somebody would have drank a potion beforehand, probably could have just walked around and picked everything up, not worried about anything.
you know, it came in handy because poor Spangle was struggling when I shot the potion at her.
he was. They were struggling.
Yes,
So
Spangle learned that they can't whistle underwater, which is an important life
Yes.
lesson.
it is. If you keep on trying, you'll eventually drown if you don't have a potion
Do
of water
we-
breathing.
Do we have any more of the magic breathe underwater stuff?
No,
I-
that potion
I
was
gave it all.
consumed.
Okay. Just curious if we had any left. Good to know.
No, but it's something to look for the next time you're in a big town that has like an apothecary, and you could certainly find something, buy something,
Little
barter for
something.
something, little something, something.
Some sparkling.
Even though there are no
Sparkling.
exactly. All right, so if you guys are going to be leaving this beach, leave this beach. She
That was
is I can pull up the menu for where you will head to.
Yeah, well, I'm done with this beach.
Yeah, this beach
Yeah,
is
let's get the
spent.
heck out of here.
This is a little beach.
Can we take the talking crab though? Can we bring him with us?
Do you want to
That'd
go
be
back
fun.
and talk to him at all? Is there anything you want to say to him?
No, I want to kidnap him.
You want to
No.
kidnap the crab.
Crab nap.
No.
Mr. Crab, I think was what we called him,
Mr. Crab, this is true.
because it was
He would be a great opener for B4. I'm just thinking.
Did he sound like Clancy Brown?
not a bad idea. I don't get the reference, Court, but
He's the guy that plays Mr. Krabs.
oh, okay. I didn't get the reference.
His name is Mr.
we made a video for Mother's Day, and there was a SpongeBob reference in it, and I feel like it went over pretty well. I thought it was funny.
Nice.
It was the 3 hours later kind of thing, and it was cute. All right, so you guys are back on the big old world map, and you're gonna do your best to avoid any like fights. I'm sure, but
What?
What?
you know the sound from Final Fantasy, like a chair. You, the world map boss fight sound where it's like and then it like zooms in and then you're in a fight and it's da, 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 da. That's the fight music.
Oh, I think we're getting Kurt on.
Right, then I'll take off his offline image of shame if we're getting
Yeah,
Clovis.
popped into-
Clovis. Yeah, I see him in roll 20.
Is it Clovis? Might be Clovis.
Clovis?
right?
Clovis? I think I've been saying Clovis. I don't know if it's Clovis or Clovis. That's
I've been saying Clovis. Yeah.
He's been saying Clovis,
so
so I think it's Clovis.
one can only assume, but you know what happens when you assume.
You're right
Probably
most of
right.
the time.
A
Yeah.
lot of times you're right. Yeah, that's
No,
exactly what the
Anthony,
saying
that is
is.
not true.
I mean,
No.
I said it, and I was right this time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna say I'm right.
At
You
least
guys know I
some
have to live with him after
some
this,
amount
right?
of the time.
What?
She said I have to live.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds terrible, Anthony.
Have to.
Oh,
I have to.
I mean, for what it's worth, living with Anthony kind of sounds terrible too. So,
Damn.
no, because I had
You
to do it
have
for
to do
so
it.
many years. I had
That's
to do
Yeah,
it.
he's done it more than me.
Yeah,
And Jason's got levels on you.
so many levels.
I have been with him for half my life, literally.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are on the beach. Just
Yes, the
leaving.
beach.
The
Oh my.
beach. What's up, Clovis?
Are your feet still attached to your body?
Oh my gosh. They are attached, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately.
I think it better be better if the sharks bit them off.
Poor guy. I'm still very much interested to know how it happened exactly. Like I know the how, but like how did that happen?
Well, so as you age,
Go on.
as you age, you remember things that you used to do when you were younger. Maybe
Here
even
we
like
go.
maybe
It's
like
already a
even,
good start.
maybe like even when you're 30. And I literally jumped. Like so, like you have stream, like you've jumped. We've all jumped across a stream at one time.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this stream had like a embankment, like a 5-foot drop, and I was like, I'm gonna jump across this, and Wade's like, you can't do that, and I'm like, yes I can. Now I'm really gonna jump across this, and I was like, I had a moment in my mind like I could hurt myself, and it turned out that way, and so I jumped, and I jumped, and the embankment was over here, so I made it, but I landed like kind of like
You landed
Beatrice.
flat.
I landed flat like Beatrice jumping into action. Only I'm not a ranger. I'm a 42-year-old man child, and I landed on my heels landed on rocks. Like they landed on like how like they have rocks, and I was like I knew instantly. I was like, oh, that's painful.
Were you barefoot?
I I was I know
Yeah,
what?
that'll do it.
Which I actually believe, like had on, if I had on, like tennis shoes, like just like Adidas or Nike sneakers or whatever, I would have probably hurt my heels. Like I might have bruised them.
Hold on.
But
You had no shoes on?
no, I had shoes. Wait. I had
Oh, yeah,
shoes
like
on. No.
Sandals or something.
I had on like flats.
Oh,
Like
what? Those aren't shoes.
Yeah, I mean, it was like there's no soul. Like it's like it's like I was going on a yacht, like a yacht shoes. That's basically what I was wearing.
Oh my god.
And I don't have a yacht.
No.
So
I
yeah,
know what
so
you meant from all my experience in yachts.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was painful, and then I had to call Sarah to pick me up after like Wade. Luckily, Wade was there, And Wade's like, you gotta call mom. I'm like, I don't want to call mom and be like, hey, I may have broken my heels. I'm stupid.
Did you know they were broken? Like,
I knew when I got home, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to have surgery. Like I've just destroyed my heels. But as it turns out, like so I didn't know they were broken. So I knew I thought they were broken. And then I thought, oh my, then you try to convince yourself that they're not broken. So then I'm like, they're not broken, they're fine, everything's good. And then it turns out they were broken. And so the doctor's like, yeah, they're broken. Like he's like, I was like, he brought me in. He walks in the room. He's like, well, I'm glad I brought you in. And I thought he was gonna be like, because they're great, you're fine. But I was like, oh, they're broken. He's like, yeah, what did you expect they were not broken? And I guess your heels are like hard-boiled eggs. And I really, really, unfortunately, he's like, if you're gonna break your heels, like this is the way you want to do it. Like you did it in the way that's like you're gonna have the best recovery and you have no surgery. He's like, usually people come in and their hard-boiled eggs are like sheared or shut or smashed. He's like, it's like you dropped your hard-boiled eggs on like a counter and they're cracked, like your shell's cracked, but everything else is fine. So he's like, so you're gonna like my left heel has like one hairline crack or micro crack running through it around its shell, like but nothing inside. And he's like, my right heel has three like cracks like running around the edge. And there's no he's like, I guess displacement. Yeah, displacement. That's the right word. So yeah, but I can't walk on them. So I'm like, so at our house, Jay, you know our house is small, right? So it's like the wheelchair does not work in our house. So I have these like handy dandy knee pads. I like crawl around everywhere.
so is that why you were late and you'd had to crawl?
So I knew by dinner time, like I was like, I'm not gonna make it in time, like and like just using the bathroom. I mean, let's be honest, like everything is gonna take more time.
Sure.
So just turning on the computer takes more time, and I'm just doing it with these things. So
right. Well, it's understandable.
So fun. How long are you wheelchair bound?
So I am off my. So I'm going back in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, I'm hoping my left foot, because he was like, when he even grabbed it, I didn't feel any pain, but he was like, well, the X-ray showing cracks. I'm like hoping he's like, hey, your left foot, it's really healed up.
Healed up.
Like, yeah, healed up. And I'm hoping he'll be like, you can heal. I'm hoping it's healed, and I can crutch around on my left foot, because not being upright is awful. And crawling around, but he said 6 to 8 weeks. I'll have full recovery. So
that's good. That's amazing.
Barring any jumps into across streams again.
Yeah, don't do that. You're not 30 anymore.
I'm not 30 anymore. I'm closer to 50 than 30.
I'd say that maybe even if you were 30, it's kind of a questionable thing to do. So you're not.
Yeah, you should have learned from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I know I should have.
You absolutely should have. Okay, well, we've done is leave the beach. So no rocky things for you to jump on.
Okay.
So
I feel like I could roll with disadvantage.
Are you gonna crawl the rest of the game?
It might
for the day.
It might slow us down just a little bit.
And my movement is cut into fourths. Not even fourths. God, my movement would be cut in the fifths. For sure.
No,
Kurt, when we say to roll, it's just a dice.
Yeah.
Right, to get from one side to the other, just roll.
Exactly.
It's gonna speed things up. I mean, Solomon crawls pretty fast. I feel like he makes some space.
Kurt rolled a 1 when he jumped that creek, huh?
He absolutely rolled a 1. He wasn't even trying to jump the creek. He was just trying to jump, and he rolled a 1.
If I would have just if I would have hit and fallen forward, like I just landed right, like whap, if there was like some kind of acrobatics.
Nope, you failed that save too. So
it was just a whole thing of really bad things. So I have advantage in a potion.
But did you?
Can that be right?
I think it is. I think you got it at the very end. Did you at least like score a good charisma check when you talked to your wife? Like, how did that like? Did you
Oh,
make a save
I
there?
hope you were frantic.
No, that was failed
terrified.
too. It was more like I may have hurt myself. Come get. No, actually, I must have rolled at least a 10 because she came and got me. She could have been like, "Yeah, walk home."
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
No, she would never do that. She puts up with me so much.
Well, I'm glad that you at least got a 10 on that roll. So
Yeah.
getting you to the hospital, I feel like, is important.
Thank you.
All right, so what are we gonna do here? You guys are you are in a position where you gotta make good time to make it home. It is nightfall. There is a approaching storm still that I would assume is going to catch up to you unless you have some way to magically be faster than the storm.
Have we attuned to like our magical items?
Yeah, you guys have got your magical items. You're all attuned. I'm not gonna.
And we know how to use it, or
Yeah. I'm not gonna enforce like a maximum of a certain amount of magic items or anything. Excuse me. That ain't my style. I want you guys to load up and then actually use your magic items. I'm okay with that.
What did I get then? I got a wand, but as of right now, it's just a wand of poking.
Oh, didn't I tell you what you got? Let's see. So, you got a wand of secrets is the wand that was given. And there was a book in there too, right? Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens to be a. You can't read it.
I can get someone else to read it.
Yeah, maybe. So that is a spell book from what you can ascertain. You're not sure exactly what spells are in it, but you once you do some meditation time on that one, you'll be able to uncover the individual spells with the aid of somebody that can read.
Okey-doke.
But it is it seems to be some kind of a wizard's spell book. It does not look like a warlock spell book. But there's some overlap.
You said, I mean, I'm not going to go over all the stuff that we got because it was so much, but you said is there a place to, like, how do you want us to document like pearls and electrum and things like that?
So so this is a good thing to cover. So unless you guys actually want to hold on to any of those components for their like for using at a later date, you can just tell me, can we just take the gold, and then I won't have to cross-reference back to be like, okay, well, where did you get those pearls? Okay, they're this amount, and then do all that. But like, if you wanted to keep the statue, the mermaid statue that you found because it's mermaid, you could certainly hold on to it and try to barter with it with someone else and maybe make more money than what selling it straight up would do. But if you have specific ideas of how you would like to use some of the items, you can certainly tell me that you'd like to keep the item. If not, just tell me you guys want the gold, and then you'll have the gold, and then you can do with the gold what you want.
Okay, so can I dump this 6 pearls and 120 electrum and the 9-inch? I'm gonna keep the statue of the mermaid.
Sure, yeah. So the pearls, those are going to be 100 gold pieces each. So that's
Oh, wow.
600 gold.
Wait, are there any wizards? Oh wait, actually, can I just dump 3 of them and give 3 to my good friend Kair?
Does he need them for a spell component?
I don't know. He's more like, I'm like, you're a wizard. You're a
I'm not
wizard.
a wizard.
You're a wizard, Kair. Well, you're more wizardy than I am.
Okay.
For the reference he was making.
Actually, no. You know what? I just forget it. I'll keep the pearls. Give Kair 3 of them. Kair, take 3 of them, and I'm dumping the electrum.
Okay,
so I put that in our slush fund.
Sure.
And by slush fund, I mean I'm gonna put it in my players thing.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know where you were gonna go with that.
I know.
So let's see. You've got you had the Cloak of Many Fashions that went over to Spangle, Clovis. Somebody got it.
You want to give that to Clovis.
Okay.
Yeah,
give it to
I was
Clovis.
trying to give it, but they
You
said, yeah, it's on me.
And then
It's actually on my sheet. You put it on there.
And then Kair, you got that Wand of Secrets, which I don't know what it does off the top of my head, but I can pull it up if you want.
I just looked. It reveals trapdoors within 30 feet.
Okay, cool. That's kind of fun.
Nice.
Ooh la la.
And then it like recharges at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
One every 24 hours or
Cool.
1d3, whatever. Certain amount.
Always nice. So those are the gears and the loots that you got. So you guys are getting closer to buying like the fun stuff with the monies if you make those pearls into gold. And then you also had a conch. That conch
Conch
shell.
shell.
Is that what we're going with? Conch?
Conch.
That's what they say in the Bahamas. It's conch.
Yeah, that's what
Conch.
they pronounce it. Yeah.
Conch.
I mean, that's
Conch.
island life, baby. You can't argue with that. Okay, so if you want to sell that, you certainly could sell it. The price would be the price that you're getting back at the first town you go to. So.
Okay.
So if you want to put a number next to that one, it would be 125 gold.
I don't know who has. How much is the 120 Electrum worth?
I think the exchange rate is like
Isn't it 2 to 1 for gold?
something like that. It's not a 10 base system, but that's in the player's handbook somewhere. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, I still have that butter skull that's worth 52.
50.
Oh, it's worth 50.
50. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said it was worth 52.
50.
It's a good goof. Funny.
You're great. You're so funny.
I mean, it's something. Yeah. So it looks like Electrum to wait one Electrum piece is worth 50 copper pieces. This is not helpful. You're going backwards. One
Two to,
pure
So it's worth
gold.
half.
looks like it's half. Is it half? No, 1
Yeah.
to 2.
One Electrum piece was worth
half the
50
gold.
copper pieces. Yeah. Okay. So half a gold.
So if
Okay,
we're
half.
splitting that up, we all get what, 20?
Wait, no.
24?
And then 5 silver pieces is worth half a gold piece, or 1/20th. This is the worst breakdown of. Just tell me how much electric is worth. Electrum.
It's Electrum.
Electrum's 1, so it'd be half. So if I have 120, it'd be 60 gold.
If you say so. I'm
That's what it
reading
looks
this.
like.
It looks crazy. I don't want to deal with that. Okay.
We
cool.
each get 10 gold. Put 10 gold on your sheet, guys, and that gives rid of the Electrum.
Okay. 10. Okay.
10
We're
gold.
carrying decent gold right now. I think we have some decent money if we combine money.
Oh yeah, I have 70 gold.
Up to
I've
80.
got 10.
Cash
Plus
money.
a butter skull.
And if you each sold those
Those pearls.
pearls, you'd have another 100 each. So and plus some.
Yeah, I think we should
Yeah,
keep the
I could-
pearls.
Oh, you want to hold on?
You know what?
What do we need them
I'm
for?
gonna keep my pearl, but everyone else
I-
can. They want to sell their pearls. I'm gonna keep mine because I eventually will pull some wizard spells and I might need them.
True.
Okay, I want gold for mine. Can I?
Yeah.
do that?
I will drop myself down to 1 pearl instead of 3, so whoever doesn't have one can grab 1.
So,
But I'll hold on to mine as well.
okay, as of now I have 0, so I will take 1, and that makes it what, 180?
And you can just
We
put 100 the 100 gold
Or
right
100?
into your
Sorry,
thing.
I don't. I already have 80, so 180. Okay,
Okay.
Oh, rich man.
Okay. cool.
Okay, 1 pearl. All right. Oh, and 9-inch tall blue quartz from the mermaid.
All right. Cool. So
We have to take that into town and sell it, right? We can't exchange
Oh,
it.
I'm keeping that.
you can. I mean, you could tell me that it's just sold, and then it would be sold. But
It's just a statue. Is it do anything for magic or?
You never know. I could play with it in the windowsill. I could talk to it.
Oh, it's a talking
Could be your
statue.
best friend.
I could be my best friend. It reminds us of our trip together. Jesus,
yeah.
you know,
It's
God, Corbin.
It's
Like-
not all money.
It's
where's
not
the
a-
sentiment?
This adventure meant a lot to me. Damn it!
It was the last adventure he had both of his legs.
I know.
So, you guys are not going to be able to sleep on your way back if you're going to try to make it for the to like sign up for your B4 concert, or to like check in before everything happens. So I'm sure you'll get a moment to breathe once you're in town. But you are right up on the time slot here. So
we gotta go.
we gotta go.
It's-
All right, let's
Well, I vote we
So
go.
we're double timing it, huh?
Double time it.
get to it.
So that means not a whole bunch of ability to really pay attention to where you're going. So make sure you watch your step there, Clovis.
Oh,
I'm just
I feel like I may be the heel of some jokes.
no.
can
don't-
Kair carry him
Well,
on his back?
maybe you are. You better make an insole check. I mean, an insight check.
Da-da-da-da-da. Deck shoes. Okay, so who's leading the way? Who is gonna be? Are you guys gonna try to stay on the trail and not need to have anybody kind of like guiding, or are you gonna try to cut some time off to give you a little bit of breathing room?
I vote we should try to cut some time off. What do y'all think?
Let's go for it.
Let's
do
go.
it.
Gonna roll the dice on this one.
Roll, why not? I
Kind of
feel like that's our thing, rolling dice.
I mean, that's kind of like that's definitely the MO. So who's leading? Who is driving this train?
I will.
You're gonna
The
take
ranger-
the
the
reins
rangers.
on this one. Okay, cool,
With
Corbin.
their survival checks.
So you're in the front, and you guys are you're all kind of where this one spot is over here. And
Did we walk here, or did we take a mule here, or not?
We walked.
No, we
No,
walked.
that's
Didn't we
stupid
park a
of us.
horse somewhere? No. Okay.
We didn't have any
no,
horses.
you had a horse when you were coming down, and we talked about parking it up here, but then you guys decided to take it back to New Phandalin instead.
Yeah, we were convinced by some voice.
All right.
You're concerned for its well-being.
Alright,
So if you
let's
want to
go.
go ahead and give me it's going to be a total of 3 survival rolls. So go ahead and give me a roll for that first, like, I don't know, that
Oh,
one's
nice.
There you
that's a
go.
hell of a roll.
Oh.
And that's a good one too, and that one's a good one as
I
well.
think we're good.
Jeez.
I think we're solid.
So
Yeah, I'm glad you did it.
There's a lot of moxie.
yeah, that
So
was
nice.
that took a lot of cojones
You
because
just did it because if you would, because I feel like that would have been punishable by the DM just to roll them 3 at a time.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Without, like, if you would have gotten like a 7, we would have ended up in the water.
you would have ended up in Nomern
I'm
Garden.
I'm feeling it. We're good.
So you guys are able to navigate the distance off the trail, and you do make it back all the way to New Phandalin without any major issues. Who's in the back?
I'm in the back.
Beatrice, go ahead and give me a perception check. So you notice that there seems to be like some I don't know hubbub from whence you're leaving. So as you guys were leaving the lighthouse, it looked like there was some kind of like I don't know some scurry of events, people scrambling and moving around. It just kind of like you didn't even think anything of it in the moment. You just kind of noticed that there seemed to be people down by the beach that were observing or something and kind of mobilizing to get off the beach also. But you guys make your way back all the way to New Phandalin without any major anything really crazy happening, and you guys are back here in the town that you know so well. You have a few places that you guys have frequented, and I assume that you at least stop off at one point at one of the various places to sell those wares that we all just decided that we were getting rid of as far as your gold Z's. And you make it back, and you actually have enough time that people are going to be able to take a little bit of a rest, and it's your choice as to what to do. You do notice that there doesn't seem to be I don't know what you guys were actually expecting as far as this concert and the kind of draw that it was going to have, but it kind of looks like business as usual as far as the foot traffic here.
Uh-oh.
Bummer.
Spangle Luxie is going to get into some nice, fresh, pressed clothes. Freshen herself up a bit and
Wait,
go
are we at
find.
the inn, or are you just freshening up in the street? Where are we?
Oh, I assume but this was like all around town kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yes, I'll freshen up in the end, but then Spangle Luxie's going to go find the a weaponsmith or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, you're like dropping off at the Stonehill Inn and then freshening up and then gonna head on out to the Lion Shield Costers, I think was the
Yep.
yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So you are freshened up. You don't have to roll for it. Is there anything specific that you're looking for at Lion Shield Costers?
Yes, I am looking to have a dagger made out of a giant shark tooth.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Lanine is the person running Lion Shield Costers, and you hand over the shark's tooth, and she looks and she says, "Oh, that's quite a specimen that you got there. I've heard tale of some pretty big sharks, but this one takes the cake. Did he give you a tough time?"
Yeah, she gave us a good old dagger maul there. Is now just gum maul, and she was pretty terrible to us.
Yowza. Well, I
Was indeed.
I figure for a name like Daggermaw, we certainly can fashion this into something might nice. You're thinking of dagger. It seems fitting for a name like that.
Hmm.
And she says, I feel like I'm gonna need a couple days to work on some, calling a few favors and get some enchantments on it. And it's not gonna be cheap, but I'm sure I can fashion this into quite a nice dagger for you.
Fantastic. Can you put like maybe a musical motif on it?
A musical motif. Why, I don't know that I've ever tried that. What you have in mind? Some music notes, or you just want
Sure.
like the staff, or what you thinking?
Yeah, maybe a staff going down like the carved in, like going down the tooth.
Oh, that sounds quite nice. I feel like I know some scrimshawers that certainly could do a fancy number on that.
Yeah, do that.
Sounds good. I know just the right person.
You
Might
know where I
have to.
got this tooth? It was pulled out of this my friend of mine named Clovis, and he's a really good singer, and he's going to be over at the inn tonight, and you should come here and play, so you can see what kind of what kind of a hero that gets eaten by sharks and still lives to tell about it. I bet I'll sing a song about it.
Oh my, that
It's
sounds
going to be a good show.
quite exciting. Is he a part of that band everybody's been talking about before?
No, I think it's going to be opening up for him.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that all goes.
On that note, I like bust in like to the storefront, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?"
Oh, can I get is this like an entrance that you're trying to make?
Yeah. Well, I'm also looking for armor, but like because I'll explain later. But yeah, I just bust in. Like I'm surprised because we all like kind of went our separate ways.
Sure.
Like I had to put on some new clothes because mine were all ripped.
Yes, they were ripped to shreds.
I quickly, as soon as I see him, I'll say, "Okay, thank you," and like toss the and grab the tooth and like put it in a bag and slide it, over behind the counter.
Oh dear,
Give us again.
we didn't talk about how much this will cost.
We'll pay it for it later. Don't worry.
All right, if you're good for it.
Sure.
All right, sounds
Hopefully you
good.
have it.
Oh no.
So I walked up and I slammed my money down and I'm like Spangle, it's good to see you.
Why, Clovis? Imagine seeing you here.
Well, I figured I'd buy some armor because of what happened last time with the sharks and they were eating me. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Do you remember that?
We were just talking about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this the singer you're talking about?
This
I'm
is
the guy that was
the
eaten by the
Clovis.
shark.
Well, I do say that you do you clean up nicely. I heard you had a tussle with that dagger maul. He seemed like quite a pickle.
It was more than a tussle. But my friend Spangle here, she was eaten, and then I set her on fire. And
That
then
doesn't sound very nice at all. That sounds
Well-
like it would be might painful.
the shark spit her out. I saved her life.
Oh no, I mean for Miss Spangle here, that sounds like it's rather dangerous.
I think she was unconscious at the time, or no, maybe that happened
Nope.
after I set her on fire.
Yeah.
I think I set her on fire first, and then she was unconscious.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's-
think that was the order of things.
sounds like you really maybe think that through next time. I'm sure she didn't appreciate that. I ain't never
I
been
was a little angry at the time.
I have to tell you, I don't think things through.
fair.
I just have to go with my gut. That's why I'm here now, buying new armor.
You leap before you look.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that you careful. You could hurt your legs with like that.
Or your feet. You could hurt your feet or heels. It
Oh,
could,
that seems very specific.
yeah. Well, you never know.
I never know.
Do you guys sell armor?
Absolutely. And
I just like a regular chain shirt, like just something,
oh,
nothing special.
darling,
just
I
a
got
reg-
one that I think would fit you perfectly.
And I'm pretty big for my. You got one that fits. Like, look at this.
Uh, she
And
she's,
I try
she's
my
able
best
to
intimidation. I just my best intimidation moves, right, like that.
she's able to put on her very professional face and say, "Oh yes, I maybe need to fit you for this one, but like, can we just try on this first one? I think it might just fit." And she brings out an extra small,
Like
and she
child's,
like
like-
a child's
Do I
extra
know
extra
it's
small.
a child one?
I don't know. Give an insight check.
I want a small man's wetsuit. I'm not a woman. Say, sure.
You're not sure. She's like she really sells it. This could very
Alright.
well be an adult size small and not just a child size medium that it really is. So
All right.
but she sells it to you. She's like,
Is this the? Yeah. Okay. Is this the cost that is in the player's handbook?
yeah, just
Just
deduct
50.
as you see fit.
50.
Fitty.
All right. I got 20 left. Now that my armor class goes up, yes.
Darling, you looking stronger every day.
And I'm like, check out this new armor I got. This is Spangle. Look at me, huh? Look at me.
like a big old adult there.
And
You
I
look-
throw on my cloak. I tie my cloak around me now, and I like make it like
There you go.
like rainbows like go down it like
Good
I-
rainbow sound effects.
I say you
It's
look rather regal. You're an impressive sight to behold.
This place sells weapons, correct?
Yeah.
We're at right now.
So anything you see in the player's handbook that's non-magical, you are able to get your hands on. Anybody else have specifics that they would like to be getting? You also have Barthen's provisions for all non. I don't know what you need language proficiency for, but
I don't know why that happened. I was gonna add the armor to my thing, but I don't think I can do that.
yeah, you can.
If you put it into your character sheet, if you drag it from the actual journal,
Yeah,
it
so
will automatically equip it an
Oh,
entire AC.
sweet.
so you just go into the compendium, and this is terrible. I shouldn't tell you this, but I just trust you guys way too much. Go into the compendium and type it in. So if you're watching stream there, you just type in chainmail, and then
Got it.
you can just drag it right onto your character sheet and then equip it
Or
from
cha-
there.
Chain shirt, right?
Chain shirt.
It's the
Yeah,
same-
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I didn't want to be like, chain got something that I shouldn't have gotten.
Right.
So pretty much we can play this game like Scribblenauts is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Just type it in, and if it shows up, drag it into your thing and see how we can defeat the monster. Scribblenauts is a great game. For anybody that hasn't played it, if you're watching and you haven't played Scribblenauts in some way, shape, or form, stop what you're doing. This stream is not worth it. Go and play Scribblenauts. I think you can
I
get
don't
it
know what
for
that
free.
is.
You don't count. You should stay and continue playing. You can get that later.
Well, I was
Um,
gonna leave.
Well, you're not watching. I was talking to people that are watching. It's more important that people watching go play Scribblenauts.
Well,
It's
Fritz,
really important.
it turns out we are actually playing Scribblenauts because you just go into the compendium, you
Just-
write what you want, you drag it into the game. There it is.
And then you
look up dragon. We've got a dragon.
boom,
Go to
dragon.
town.
Yeah, don't pull a dragon into town,
I was
please.
gonna say,
That's what we're
let's
trying
not
to
do that.
avoid. That is like the prime thing that we're trying to avoid.
It's okay. We have the anti-dragon weapon from there's gnomes. We should be set.
And Lenine, she overhears you say anti-dragon weapon, and she said, I say, so you saw the board on the coming into town then, huh? Ah, man, I heard legend of that weapon, but boy, I tell you, I never thought it was real. And then when Harbin puts up a notice for that, it blew my mind. I thought for sure that he's got to be off his rocker.
No, he knows what he's talking about. You
No.
guys sure have a well-prepared town master about here.
I've always thought he's a mite bit odd, but he's a survivor, as he'll tell you. So,
Well, you got to say that for him.
well, I haven't seen him in quite some time, being holed up in his home. So, but yeah, I guess he's got it with him enough to know about some cool things that I thought were just lore.
Lord have mercy.
I tell you, Miss Spangle, I enjoy your jokes. Your
Someone's
humor
gotta
Somebody has to.
right up my alley.
And I give her like a little squeeze, and I'm like, "Oh, Spangle."
Was that a warranted approach, or is that
Oh no,
Is
it's
it
I could get in
super
trouble
awkward?
with that one. It may have been awkward.
Roll to see if you overstepped bounds?
No, Spango doesn't mind.
Okay, all right. Well, then you're good. Anybody else have anything that they want to do store-wise before you continue on doing whatever you want?
I got nothing.
Yeah, it's the same.
You have nothing to spend money on. You don't want to
I've
bolster
got
your.
10 gold.
How do you have?
You only have 10
No.
gold?
You have
I
more than 10
went-
gold.
No. Well, I have 11.
Well, you
um,
have those pearls that you're.
Yeah, I didn't sell my pearl. I held
Okay.
on to it.
All right, fine, whatever, Anthony.
And I spent all of my money when I added in a new class.
I think I
Because
want something. Is this a good idea, team? I think I want a greatsword and swap that out for my hand axe. I think that's a good idea.
Do you want to use a great sword?
They're great.
They're great.
When I'm at short range, it's better than the hand axe I have.
Yeah, so martial weapons are going to be more powerful and as far as their maximum damage that they're going to do, but you do have to consider equipping something like quickly. You want to probably get something that you can do with one hand, as far as like, because if you go from like shooting your longbow to whipping out the greatsword, I may at some point find that it's necessary to like stow your items unless you're just throwing them on the ground as you see fit, and
Alright.
that'll be some like
1/6 plus 2 slashing. What about a battle axe? That seems better.
so like
The hand axe.
if you go more melee focused, then yeah, it's definitely you're going to be very well served to have a better melee weapon than the hand axe for sure.
Anyone have any suggestions? That's
I
not
mean,
Jason?
it's always nice to have make sure one person is a range attack, and also it's nice to have someone have like as you're going for like melee weapons. I would absolutely encourage that, especially like. But if you do so a ranger is going to get 2 attacks very soon. Like what are we third level?
Next
So
level.
next level. So like
Yep.
it might be better to have not a great sword, but like 2-hand, like you can take also like dual-handed, and you could have 2 weapons, so like
Dual wielding.
yeah, dual wielding. So you could take like you could have a short sword and a hand axe, or a short or a long sword, like because you can't use a great sword because the great sword's like 2-handed. You can make 2 attacks with it, but if you have dual wielding, you could make 3 attacks, I think. Correct? Yeah, 1 attack with your offhand.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool to make 3 attacks instead of just 2 attacks.
It's a 6 in one hand, half dozen the other. So
Yeah.
just about what you want your character doing. Do you want him to be Legolas with 2 like swords? Do you want to be Legolas sliding down the back of a dragon shooting arrows?
I like
Legolas.
my longbow. I like the range, but I just don't think my melee is the best right now with the
Yeah,
solo.
then you're
hand axe.
probably good to get like a long sword, because that can be used versatile, and you can in the times when you can 2-hand it, then you'll be getting a D10, I think, and then when it's one-handed, it's 1d8 or something along those lines.
You could be like Jamie Lannister.
All right,
Yeah,
tell you what,
get
I
one golden
will-
hand and then just hit people with it.
Can I
Golden
It's
trade?
always like this.
Can I swap my hand axe for a longsword? Do they do trades?
No, they don't do tradesies.
No, you want to keep it because you could have that in your offhand.
And you could throw it too. That one's a,
Okay.
a
All right.
throwable.
All right. I will purchase a longsword for 15 gold.
Okay. You got it. Why, dear? I've heard you guys have been doing good stuff and saving our town from all kinds of baddies. And if
Oh,
there's any
die.
truth to this dragon rumor, we need all the help we can get. So I don't normally sell to people any of these weapons, but I feel like you're doing Harbin's work.
Wait, you don't typically sell weapons at your store? That's a weapon store?
Well, to people that don't live here, no. I'll sell armor, but I ain't too keen on selling weapons to people that are strangers.
I don't think that's a good business model for a store, but okay.
It's working for her.
It's been working for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing well then.
Never been robbed by something I ain't sold.
That's true. It's very true.
So, she's very happy
So wait a
to
minute.
sell.
Does that mean you've been robbed by something you sold?
I learned my lesson one time. That's all I needed. Now I don't sell to strangers.
All right.
Okay.
I think I also want to purchase a longsword too. I just
Okay.
got a little dagger.
All right.
Stabby dagger.
Jason, do you have to add that in my inventory? How does that work?
No, just
I
go ahead.
manually-
You can go to the compendium and type in longsword, and then you can drag it onto your character sheet. Nice and easy.
Longsword?
Isn't that what you bought?
Yeah, I want a longsword.
So
Regular old longsword. Okay.
you just go ahead and type in longsword and don't grab one of the +1 or +2 or +3 or the vicious one that shows up.
Yeah,
Just-
but they're really good.
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
know,
say,
but they're
wait.
so
What's
much
better?
better. Yeah, no, you don't get those. And you also don't get if you just typed in longs, you can't pull in a long ship or keel
Oh,
boat.
why not?
Aw.
It's only 30K.
You
No
also
big deal.
don't get access to the long strider spell. So these are all things you don't get. Oh, you definitely don't get the Vorpal longsword, which is pretty cool too. So you don't get that.
Because they go snicker snack.
Yeah, and you don't get the vicious longsword either. So these guys, there's some cool longswords. Look at this one, the vicious longsword. I guess that one doesn't do anything crazy. When you roll a 20 with this magic weapon, the target takes an extra 2d6 slashing damage on top of critting.
Ooh.
Oh, so good. And then the Vorpal one, it's +3 to everything, and it ignores all resistances of slashing, deals an extra 68. It's bonkers. So
Did I drag it in twice? Wait a minute.
I about to say it put in a bunch of them when I tried to drag it in.
I dragged
I will
one
help
in,
for it real quick.
and I have one and two-handed.
Yeah.
You can
I-
see in the
That's
chat.
because you
right?
can
Yeah,
use
you
it.
can use it either way.
one-handed or two-handed.
Oh, it's the optional
Right.
attacks.
That's-
Okay, gotcha. I'm
that's
good.
to use it as a versatile weapon, since you can use it two-handed or one-handed. They have different damage when you use it either way. So
Cool. Okay,
That's
I have the
why.
right
So-
one. I'm good. And I took the
I
gold
don't
out.
think it's appropriate to call a longsword bonkers, but to that end, I have definitely renamed my mace now.
bonkers.
Bonkers the mace.
I think that's great. This is bonkers.
That's
Did anybody watch that show? Bonkers.
No.
No.
Oh man, you guys are the worst. He was a cop. He was a cartoon cop. Bonkers. He's like
No,
I don't know if he
you're,
was a
you're on
cheetah.
your own right now.
Maybe a cheetah, I think. Let's see, bonkers. You tell me what else you guys want to do. American animated.
I want to. I
cartoon.
want to. I'm like. I'm starting to get really nervous and excited,
Never.
and if about the B4 coming. So I kind of am like, guys, maybe we should go and check the board, but then head back to the inn to get a good seat and possibly tune up. And I gotta go and and I like take out my loot. And I'm like, bang, and I go like, oh my god, I like broke a string. I'm like, I gotta rethread it now.
Yeah. So are you going to run over to check the follow-up board, the board?
Yeah, I feel like I should, because we're standing right out in front of it. I feel like we should check the board, but then I don't even know if I can read it. Like I'm starting to get nervous.
Okay. So if you if you run out and check it out, you do notice that there are some new quests on the board that you know, whatever. But the Butterskull Ranch and the loggers camp and all those things are not there. You do see a quest for it says, within a mountain 15 miles south of Phandalin stands the ancient dwarven fortress of Axholm, which has been sealed for years. If a dragon attack is imminent, the people of
Axholm.
Phandalin might need to evacuate and take refuge in Axholm. To that end, somebody needs to go open the fortress and make it safe for habitation. Once you accomplish these tasks, return to me and collect a reward of 250 gold.
I like that one.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds real nice. And even that sound goes off in the distance as you are reading it, and it's like, it's like a party.
Hey Jay, one quick thing.
Mhm.
Can I have sold my Butterskull to her too for 50 gold?
Yeah, she sees the Butterskull and she says, "Oh my, is that an official Butterskull?"
That is a Butterskull Ranch Butterskull.
I tell you, Barthen's always the one that gets them. I'm never lucky enough to be the purchaser of one of them. He doesn't get many. So if you're unloading it, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. I'll be sure to make sure it doesn't slip right out of mine. She thinks she's very funny.
All right, so that's sold. Sweet. Enjoy your Butterskull.
I certainly
Cash
will.
my
It's
pocket.
going on my mantle. Hopefully I won't melt it. Maybe it won't go on my mantle. Maybe somewhere besides a mantle. Mantle's probably not the best place for a Butterskull.
No.
Probably not.
What do I know? I ain't never had one. I'm just a simple folk.
The bag's dripping with ocean water because it was in the water
It's okay.
recently. He's like, "Oh, don't
It's
worry about
sealed
that."
with wax. It's not,
Okay,
you're
okay.
good.
Oh.
You're not selling her a gross Butterskull that sucks.
Well,
Slightly melted.
He did
Yeah,
get
they-
hit with a
not
fireball, though.
Gently used.
It's worn. It's battle tested Butterskull. Butterskull?
It's salted
Little-
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
salted Butterskull.
I
They're
always
rare.
thought these were
The new one.
non-salted. This is amazing. Petunia making salted butter now. That's something, I tell you. You do notice there are back at the board. You do
Sorry.
notice that there are two other quests that seem to be hanging there. So you have the one for Axholm, the dwarven fortress, going out and clearing that. Axholm. And the other two, one is for it says, big old post-it note up there. The dragon that beset us is not the first to threaten this region. Between here and Neverwinter lies the barrow mound of a warrior whose magical dragon-slaying sword helped fell a green dragon terrorizing the high road a century ago. Rumor has it that the dragon slayer's sword is buried there too. Retrieve it and let the sword be its own reward. If the characters undertake this quest, I would go there. That part's for me. That's not
Yeah.
the quotes.
No, keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
tell us the
all,
rest.
all it says is if the characters undertake this quest, proceed with Dragon Barrow, page 20. So that's what I would do. Is that helpful? Don't look at page 20. And the other one is the orcs have fallen under the sway of evil spellcasters in Neverwinter Wood and have been sighted in growing numbers near Falcon's hunting lodge. The spellcasters dwell in a ruined manse. Falcon needs someone to make a preemptive strike against it. Destroy the evil in the manse, then expect him to reward you. If the character to undertake this quest, run the Falcon Hunting Lodge, page 24. Does that help?
Is that anywhere close to
Page 23. Yeah.
And 25.
I hate you guys.
Hey.
Not Tolbin. Let's see here.
So, are we debating which quest to take right now?
No, I think that Spangle is trying to ask if it's near the where you
Well, I
guys
know.
were earlier.
Tiber
Yeah.
Wester. Tiber Wester, right? Because he had orc
In the
problems. as well.
Neverwinter Woods, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it wouldn't be out of question that it maybe is somewhere over in that direction. I don't know.
'Cause those orcs were following Talos, the god of storms.
Yeah, different
Or-
orcs.
different orcs, but maybe similar.
But still orcs.
Still orcs doing bad stuff. Let's see. I'll tell you that it's not terribly far away. If you had wanted to do a 2-for-1, it wouldn't have been out of the question to make one big loop kind of thing. But this quest wasn't available at that time. So maybe they're the same.
All right.
What's the reward for Falcon?
Falcons, all it says is, "In Falcon will reward you." You don't necessarily know what the reward from Falcon is. You'd have to go seek out Falcon before I can tell you what the reward is. That's part of the fun. Do you want the surefire thing, the 250 gold? Do you want the questionable, maybe it exists dragon sword? Who knows? I don't know. I've already planted the seeds of doubt that maybe it's there.
Is that north? You said the dragon sword is north.
I said it's in between here and Neverwinter. But
And-
yeah,
and
I think
so
that's
is-
north.
And so is the orcs, the Falcon's Lodge. I say we do both of them. We head
So-
north. After this town, why would we stay in this town anyway?
So
let's go to
oh.
Neverwinter.
So I'm of the opinion this town's been good to us. We should be good to them and give them that evacuation fort or fortress, whatever thing that is, Axholm.
Sure.
I think that's the right call. These people need to have a chance to survive if something goes bad.
Yeah, I think creating an
And this
evacuation.
magic sword that slayed the green dragon.
Do you know how to use a sword, Clovis?
Yeah, and I take out my rapier and I flip it up in the air and catch it.
Give me a
I
dex
don't
check.
think You're gonna catch it. You're nervous. Don't
Give me a
lie.
dex check.
you just got
Do
your
it.
hands getting me a
Yeah,
plate of
you
food.
toss it
Aw.
up and you catch it.
And I'm like, and I
He's
put
so
it back down,
disappointed.
and I'm like, I lean on it too. I'm like, it's like bendy, like bang, bang.
So you catch it in motion, like with its own momentum. You like swipe down, and it makes that cool noise that a sword makes when it slices through the air, and it's like, and then you
And
lean
I
on
like,
it
if I had
afterwards.
some cheese,
Oh,
that
it'd
would've
be
been it.
Swissed.
it'd be twist.
So those are the quests that are available, posted by Harbin Wester, Tiber's cousin, half brother. I don't know. They were
Something.
related.
I say we do the sword. It can kill people, and dragons.
So Clovis, what
That's
about
a weird
B4?
thing.
What if the dragon comes? B4 needs somewhere to be that's safe. We need to
We're
clear
gonna
out
leave
this
it.
place
They're
and
gonna-
make
they're
it
gonna-
safe.
You think B4 is gonna hang around this town? This town is duh. It's great. This town's been great.
You're not. Nobody's near you right now, so you are
Oh.
just talking out in the open. You're not. This. It doesn't seem super busy today. It seems like.
Corbin, look around us, and like, do you see a chicken?
You
There's
see
a
a
cow over
tumbleweed
here.
go by.
Okay, Neverwinter has magical items you could purchase. Think about that.
Safe.
You
I'm
know-
gonna help the people.
You know this town gave you your fame, right? It's because
Fame?
of this town. Yeah,
You think I'm famous here?
you're gonna be performing right before B4.
Where-
Word is
where are-
going to spread after that.
Where
It's
are all these
because of
people?
that. It's
famous?
just,
Where are all
it's
these people that you're talking about? Like, and I turn around. How many people do we see in our swath of circle?
well, then
you
B4
see-
will promote you.
You see one person kind of going.
I did perception.
You
Who
did.
do I
Oh,
see?
jeez.
You percepted. You see on the path that you're on, there's a person that's like all the way down over here, and then there's a person that you can see off in the distance that just happened to go in between these two houses.
So there's two people we need to save if the dragon attacks. We need to
I'm not
clear out
saying that we shouldn't
Axel.
save them, but it would be great to have a magic sword. Think
What do
about
you
that.
think, Spangle?
You could have two. You could have one sword that's regular. You're like, this is my boring sword, and then one sword that's magic. You'd be like, this is my magic sword. And when you attack, you'd be like, boring sword, magic sword, boring sword.
I will say,
If we attack, the dragon may burn this town to the ground. So we need to make it safe first for them.
Okay,
I'll-
and
I'm gonna
I
go-
I walk up to the nearest house and I slap it.
There's
Is
a
it made of rock?
which
These
house?
ba-
Which house do you
These
slap?
babies don't burn.
Can you
Where are
ping it?
are we? We're right here. Where this is where the thing is, right?
Like where the
Uh,
central.
You're
Where
over
else?
here.
Oh,
This
right there?
is this.
Okay, so
you're right
I
here.
walk up to this. I walk up to this house.
Well, there's two pings.
I need to know the ping.
Okay, so
I'm about to
so
knock over one of these
where's
huts.
the Jay? Can you ping
Yes,
where we
This
are?
this is where you are. This is the
Okay.
the message board.
Oh, that's message boards, right?
Okay, so I smack this house?
You give me a perception roll.
Oh boy.
Right.
You're gonna destroy their house.
Oh crap.
Yeah, you smack it, and it sounds hollow. You don't hear anybody respond. Like you just hear, you just feel the smack of your hand on like what feels like maybe like plywood.
And I'm going, yeah, this won't burn.
Okay.
I mean, this thing is solid. Solid as a rock.
Solid as Barack.
That's not rock.
I think we need to take a vote as a group to see what we're doing next.
So as you guys are all talking this over, you do hear what sounds like some commotion coming, moving south from the north, entering town, and you hear. It sounds like a party bus that's blaring music that is absolutely like out of control, crazy loud. And like it doesn't sound loud to you, but the fact that you hear it tells you that this must be insanely loud because you do not see it, but it sounds like it's right next to you playing at like a normal level. It's this awesome poppy music that just like it is earworming its way into your brain, and you cannot get it out if you're like you start tapping your toes. Everybody, give me a Constitution check.
Oh, not with dice. Constitution, that's not so great.
Not safe, Kurt. Click the far left.
So our rangers are particularly caught by this song, and they kind of like they're
Night at the Roxbury.
they're tapping and tapping, and they're loving it. Yeah, you guys are kind of like me, him, me, me, and then she's like, yeah. All right. So it's infectious that you're like this song is your everything. Like you want to drop everything and make this song your mantra and live your life this way.
We live in the woods. We don't really, listen to music.
I think this is the first real song we've ever heard.
Well, that's
What about Clovis?
And that's why.
well,
No.
you guys hear the music and you recognize that it's like it's good music. It's done well. Like they're not it's not like that episode of Family Guy where they get high and they think that they're like the best musicians in the world, and they're just
Such a
actually
good
like
episode.
smacking their guitar like now Lois. You're actually
you mean fish?
yeah. Oh, we just lost all our fish fans. Thanks a lot, Spangle. Everybody that took a couple minutes to not be following a band around the country and not showering to just tuned out. Thanks a lot. Actually, I have a friend who really loves fish, and I hope someday he listens to this. Hi, Isaac. I have no problems with fish. In fact, it's fine. So you hear this music, and our rangers are enraptured by it. But you guys are just kind of like vibing. You're not like full blown like going crazy and like Woodstocking it, but you're definitely caught up in the beats. And everybody else is enjoying it. It's good music, and you do notice that after about 2 minutes of this, a caravan comes into view, and it's drawn by like 12 camels, and then it's very like Prince Ali coming into Agrabah, and it's they've got all this crazy fluff that's surrounding their entourage, and they come into town, and they go into the circle, like the main area of town over in this area, and they kind of do like a circuit, and they round the wagons, and they plop all their gear down, and they with their loudspeaker, that you hear it in crystal clarity. Are you ready to rock? And
oh my God, it's in before.
I'm like, ah! I'm like, and I beeline it right to the main part of like it's the I'm right here now.
Yeah.
I was here and I'm there, and I don't know how I got there, but I'm there now.
Poof. All right.
Is
So
there like a cloud of smoke in the shape of
there's
Clovis where
there's
you
a
were?
Clovis shaped cloud. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take our 5 right now, and we'll come back, and you guys maybe we'll get to meet B4. So we're gonna take 5.
Sweet.
And do bathrooms and stuff before I, explode. Yeah. And we're gonna run an ad break too, just because then maybe somebody won't have to see an ad. See who's back? Oh, not Clovis and not Spangle and not Beatrice. Man, every time. Ilana loves the bathroom music. Thank you so much, IJ. I made that bathroom music. That sounded weird. That's not. I didn't make that bathroom music. You know what I meant.
Hey,
God. Hey, I got ice cream.
Is it painful crawling around?
Oh man.
I
almost
got
got
ice
us
cream.
root beer floats, and then I figured it would take too much time.
Hey,
So we
Kurt.
didn't.
Hey, Kurt.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
all hear you.
Oh,
Loud and clear.
awesome.
Yeah, so thanks for not saying anything really discouraging and angry and mean or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try my best to make it more interesting, I promise. Tell Sarah we're thankful that the diarrhea thing is okay. What else? So you guys have we're most of us are here. I guess we should wait for Spangle because that's fun to be all together before we meet the band. So, did anybody else get ice cream?
No.
I wanted it.
Didn't have the time.
Yes, you did. You had time.
I had to pee.
Yeah.
Oh, you got. Whoa! What happened to your hair?
That's why he's been
It's
wearing.
all rainbowy.
He told you that he got a COVID haircut.
I know what.
But it wasn't
happened,
rainbowy.
But it's not. Yeah, there it goes. I know he didn't dye his hair rainbow. Hi, person waving.
That was Bennett. What's up, Bennett?
Y'all were rude. You didn't wave to him.
The B-boy was there. B-boy from way back. Can't hear you if you're talking.
You push that button.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were.
I'm eating a banana.
I'm eating tagalongs.
My
Oh,
spoon is too big.
Did you get tagalongs from who do you know that's a Girl Scout?
You don't.
I work
Anyone
at
that's a Girl Scout.
Yeah, you don't have to know a Girl
That'd be really weird.
That wouldn't be that weird.
My Starbucks is located right next to a CVS that Girl Scouts like to frequent, and I tend to buy lots of cookies.
What's your favorite go-to cookie?
Samoas.
Absolutely, the Samoas, 100%. If you didn't have the advantage, I'd give it to you right now because that was the right answer. You gave me the right answer with that.
Yeah, they're so amazing.
They're the best.
I didn't know.
I destroy them.
Yeah. Well, they only give you like 12 in a box or something stupid.
Yeah. I swear they got smaller over the years. I swear when I was in Girl Scouts, they were bigger.
I feel like you probably grew, like as a person.
Yeah.
You got the
and they're like
size.
little cookies. I feel like they were like bigger cookies.
And movie seats were so big; they were giant.
Well,
it was
the
crazy.
one thing I will tell you is when I started working in 2000, you could buy a box of Girl Scouts cookies for like $1.25.
Back in my day.
Okay, you know what? I am old. I broke my heels.
Nice save there. This is not related to the game at all, but my mom came by for Mother's Day, and we did the social distancing. She sat in the driveway, and we sat on the stoop and the porch. It's not a stoop. We don't whatever. And she brought a box of stuff, and in that box was various different, like, all of my jobs t-shirts or shirts. So I have like a Best Buy one, and the one I was Silver Diner. But
go sell that stuff on eBay and make bank.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe.
Probably not.
But the one that was so excited about was I have my Lowe's shirt, like the black and white, like small checkered with the Lowe's logo. And that one might pull in a pretty penny.
Is that when you were selling appliances? Didn't you sell appliances?
I did. There was a overlap of when I was selling no, not appliances. That was a different place. Lowe's, the movie theater. Like
okay.
Cineplex, Odeon, and Lowe's. That
Yes,
kind of thing.
I remember you were at Wooten, right? Didn't you work at the mall?
Wheaton. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You're
That's
on
the one
pain
behind
meds,
the
I'm
mall,
sure.
right?
Yes, I worked at the one behind the mall.
That's how I watched movies when I was little.
I was say you always tell me about how your brother snuck you into movies.
It's not sneaking. I worked there. I was allowed to do that. That was a perk. Just like right now, if you need a government website, I can make that.
Free popcorn and soda.
Yeah.
And nachos. So
what? You have free nachos too, Anthony? You're so lucky.
Yeah, that makes.
At least your brother was nice about that stuff with you. My sister didn't do anything for me.
That's really sad. I did break his collarbone though.
You broke his collarbone?
Not because of a movie
moons ago.
It still hurts him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony.
If I sleep wrong on it.
Wait, what?
When it's cold outside.
Okay, that's like an old one.
When it rains.
I like it when it rains. It's gonna rain. I can feel it in my bones.
So you guys, hope that was exciting enough for you, Clovis.
Listen. Buying stuff is not that interesting. I don't know how they do it in the Adventure Zone. I don't listen to that.
Oh, they do a really good job of it. They do a lunar interlude for the Adventure Zone.
You know what? What you probably didn't hear is she said, "I bet Jay's doing a really interesting job." Just
I heard you say that he's trying.
Yeah. She said no. She said that she assumed you were doing a very interesting job, like in the Adventure Zone.
And we all know what happens when you assume.
And I said he's trying. Like we're about to get to this interesting thing that you have set up.
Yes. I hope it's interesting and enjoyable. Only time will tell.
Can I roll for coupons?
Oh, I swear to God, I will kick you out of this entire thing. Spell that word. Spell it right now, and then pronounce it.
Coupons?
Yeah. Okay. No, you are both. You are really on thin ice.
Coupons?
That's fine. Okay. So spell.
Wait, I gotta know where this came from. Where did did you say like in your campaign, Ryan, recently, like that people had coupons?
Coupon.
No, that wouldn't have upset me. Coupon would be completely acceptable because that's how the word is pronounced and spelled and written and everything. It's coupon, not coupon. Wait, there's no, we're not going to get off track. No, not today, not now.
I guess I better not tell you about the water in Washington then.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, man. Wait, does anybody else say crick? Please tell me somebody else.
Gosh. No, but Clovis tried to jump over one.
Okay.
Anthony had to make fun of me so much that I stopped saying crick.
Yeah, because it's not a word. That's not.
I was raised by people that lived in Pennsylvania. Okay.
No.
I'm from Pennsylvania. They don't say that.
They don't say it anymore.
In defense of Courtney, I have heard people say I have a crick in my neck.
That's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a crick.
They say rough in Indiana instead of roof.
A roof?
Yeah,
like the noise that a dog makes?
Like a dog on the rough.
Oh gosh, I hate it.
I've heard crick before.
Yeah, no, everybody's heard crick. It's just crazy, and we're not in an old-timey Disney movie.
I'll say my grandparents were raised in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, which is like in the boonies. Like nobody's ever heard of it. Even people from Pennsylvania tend not to hear of it. So
well, my grandmother does indeed say whoosher machine and wooder, so I can't. And I give her crap about it every time. I call her out on it.
Jason.
Yeah, I don't know where she gets it from. So.
What, calling people out on things?
No.
Giving people hard times?
That's all completely fine. That's to be expected. That's how you build character. And that's how characters have to be, new characters have to be built because your old ones have a hard time.
I remember for years I thought you hated me. Pretty sure you still did.
Probably did. Because she says crick.
Oh, Jesus.
Did those years include 2020? I'm kidding.
No.
I kid. No, I love you, Court. You're my sister-in-law.
That steak dinner all those years ago.
I think Jay just puts up lots of walls because when I met him, I thought he hated me too.
Jay hates most things.
but in all honesty, I mean, Jay and I would fight when I was younger, because he was like, Jesus, you were like, I was like 22 when I met Jay.
Yeah.
And he was a guy. I don't know how old you are. I don't know the difference, but I guess he was like 18.
Yep.
Are you
ice cream?
18.
Yeah.
He's a little.
He's like this little guy with like bleach blonde hair.
Gosh,
He's
I
like
had
a
such the
strong
bleach
breeze
blonde
could
hair.
have blown him over.
Yeah, I was an itty bitty guy.
Oh my god, he couldn't even. Yeah, and he was. And anyway, like we would like have such disagreements. I don't know if it was like. I would be like, Jesus, Sarah, this guy, he's so awful. And Sarah's like, he is so awesome.
Oh, I don't
We're gonna
fight.
go to
Ilana used to have to give me pep talks.
Elon just said he doesn't fight. He has discussions. And that's the truth. Because it takes two people to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like his opinion. It just is like, it's like his opinion, and that's the way.
She does apologize for him a lot to me.
It's just
how he is. He's not me. He doesn't hate you. Okay.
Unless you say gay.
Jesus, Jay.
Are we done?
No, we ain't done.
The years of repression.
Get it all out. I'm gonna stop. Everybody's gonna roll initiative in a few minutes. So.
We're gonna fight before.
Oh yeah. We're gonna see how this works out.
It's a lightning storm.
They're actually trolls. Get your dice ready.
It would figure there's Jay taking control, not getting what he wants, right, Courtney? No.
Don't get me in any more trouble. I'm gonna get an angry text after this, I'm sure.
Wait a minute. Have you gotten angry texts after this game before?
No.
Every time.
Not yet.
Every time. So I'm glad we all got that out of our system.
It makes for good audio.
Yeah, I guess. And it gives me time to eat this ice cream because it's delicious.
Before I take out the poster that I had like taken off the wall, and I'm pushing my way through. Are there crowds or nothing?
No, it's just them getting off the old like their bus. So
all right. I run up and I'm like, sign, please. And I have the poster. I'm trying to get their attention to sign it.
So there's your poster. I don't know. You guys see that on your screen? Does it pop up for you?
No, but I got you switched up.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to force it.
You did it one time. It's in our inventory.
Yeah, I think it shows up when you add it to our inventory. Then player handouts.
I can click it and see it.
Okay. Oh, I know why I can't force it. Here, I'll force it over here. Because I want to be in control. You know me.
He's also very reflective.
Am I shiny right now? I need powder. IJ, can I get powder? No? It's over here somewhere. Let's see. I think I can click this. No. Yeah, it's not important. You guys saw it. We've seen it before.
I'm actually staring at it because I love it.
So they they get off their caravan.
The stance the guy has on it. I'm like, because he has this big axe and he's like doing the metal sign, and I'm like into it.
So when you actually make your way over there, you do see that there's no fanfare from the new Phandalin crowds. Crowd I use very lightly. But there are. Let me move this over here. You do see what seems to be the maybe band manager or like the person in charge is the only one that's actually gotten off of the caravan at this point. And he's got like a wand that he's speaking into that is projecting that are you ready to rock, or it seems like he was the one that said it. So he just looks like a snazzily dressed dark elf, and he's just there, like slicked back white hair, and it's pulled back in a ponytail, and he looks very like Hollywood. And he's kind of like he's checking his schedule, and he's got his mic in one, or the wand in one hand, and he seems very business, like he'll charge you if you need time to talk to him, kind of thing. And he's looking around to see, like where's the red carpet, kind of thing, like that. He's got that look to him, like he's super important.
And I answer us like when he said, "Are you ready to rock?" I'm like, "Yes!"
Yeah. So and he expected a larger response probably, but he appreciates that there's at least one true fan out there.
Well, Spangle's with me, I think, too.
He heard one person yell yes.
Yes. Spangle's with you, but then like seeing the attitude, Spangle is like much less impressed. So she's kind of crossing her arms, kind of leaning back,
So, and the good music is still playing, and a moment passes, and off of the caravan, you do see like a little bit of a rustling and movement, and the first person.
Who's Russell?
It's funny goof. Let's see. The first person pops off the bus, and it is the tiefling, and he has his violin or fiddle type kind of looking instrument in hand, and just kind of like rocking it on the side. He doesn't have it up on his chin, but you can tell like he keeps this thing with him everywhere he goes. This is an extension of his body. That's his instrument, and it is him. And the next to step off the bus is the elf, with the bass, and he's got his big carrying case for his instrument, and then the elf with the flute, and followed by the human with the guitar.
And I push up. I run up to the elf with a bass like thrown over. Oh no, he doesn't have it over his shoulder. And I'm like, oh my god, can you sign my poster, please?
Oh, you got a fan. That's so cute. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure, certainly. And he takes a quill from back behind his ear, whips it out, and hands it back to you.
And I just stare at it. I'm like, oh my god!
It's super generic. He didn't know anything about you, and he just says, "Love Brandon," is what it says, and it says it in that accent. Like that's how it's written.
Nice.
So the other three kind of see you pining over the elf, and they're kind of like they're poking fun, like they're looking over and they're like ribbing each other, like, oh look, I guess we've got a fan here, or at least Brandon's got a fan. and you overhear them kind of like joking, like, oh, it's always one of them, one of the townies. And the band manager, the drow elf, who is expertly coiffed, says, all right guys, we gotta get going, let's get checked in, okay? And he's like, chop, let's go. And they start walking over towards the Stonehill Inn.
And I'll go over to Spangle. I'm like, look, Spangle, look, Brendan signed my poster. Love, Brendan. I didn't even ask him for the love part, but this is awesome.
It says, love, Brendan. So it's a little, it's the inflection.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm glad at least some of them have time to like talk to the little people.
Oh.
And I perk up. I'm like, wait, what?
That seems really rude. The little people? Like,
well,
the halfling?
What do you mean by that, Spang?
Like, saying that to the halfling?
Spangle, what do you mean by that? Are you saying something to
No, I mean,
Look at my armor today. Look, this armor. That was it's an adult. It's adult small.
So they head on off, and they make their way into the inn, and out you see like roadies unloading all kinds of different gear and what look like, I don't know if they look like performance things. You can't tell what they are without further inspecting them.
I walk over to one of the roadies and I'm like, do you love working for Before?
It's a job. I mean, you get to see a lot of places, so it's pretty nice, I guess. I always wanted to travel. I got into this business for the music, really wanted to do my part and be around it, and then I don't know, it all just kind of spiraled out of control, and now I'm here.
Cheer up, buddy. You were working for a great band, and you're headed to Neverwinter, and water's deep soon.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be great. No, you're right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I needed somebody to pick me up. Thank you. I always wanted to play. I wanted to be out there.
But what do you play?
Anything. You give me an instrument, I can play it.
Really? And I give him. I take off my lute from my back, and I'm like, go ahead, play me something.
He bangs out the most rockin' solo, and he just effortlessly. His fingers glide, up and down the neck of the lute, and it is mesmerizing. You're rather impressed. And he says, "Yeah, but I can never do it in front of a crowd anymore, so it's not even it's no big deal. Maybe one day.
Why not?
I've bored you enough. I'll see you around." And he kind
what's
of.
your name?
It's just Joe. I'll goodbye. And
Joe,
he kind of
Joe, wait.
he scurries off without being able. He realizes that he had somewhere to be.
Oh man, that was pretty cool, right, Spangle?
That was weird.
Yeah, I wonder if Joe would be part of our warm up thing, since we're opening for before. That would be fun.
Yeah, he was really good.
So there are other people that are unloading, various things. They, like I said, they came with an entire entourage. Their whole multi-wagon caravan rolled up deep into town. There are 4 different wagons that are just kind of plopped right into the center, into the circle.
How many roadies are there?
You see now 3 kind of milling about, unloading their stuff.
Okay.
I walk over to. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I walk over to one of the roadies, and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys want help? I know that they're headed towards the inn. Is there anything I can do? Are you guys going to set up here? Are you going to set up in the inn? What's going to happen?"
Oh, whoa! Nobody touches the merch. Come on, man. This is where we make our bread. So we're good. Thank you. We're fine. We don't need any help.
Wait, you guys have merch? Are you selling merch?
Yeah. How do you think a band makes their money on tour? Absolutely. We are loaded on merch.
What are you guys selling?
Oh, we got t-shirts, we got fantasy records, and we've got all kinds of stuff, whatever you want, all the stuff. You buttons, you need enameled pins, we got posters, all the stuff, man. We got towels. Some people think that they're acceptable to wave at a sporting event like an idiot. So I think they're pretty terrible. What's
up with this guy, this Joe guy that you were that's that you travel with? He's helping, but I don't see him anymore.
Oh yeah, he probably just needed to go to the bathroom or something. He's always doing that.
Going to the bathroom.
He's always going to the bathroom?
Yeah, he might have IBS. I don't know. It's a thing. Joe, we kind of leave him on his own. He's kind of a loner.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put on my wander up to the same guy and look a bit bewildered and say, "Are you guys part of the band too? Are you the backup band?"
Oh man, we wish. There's definitely some. If something goes wrong, we could certainly fill in. We're all pretty talented musicians, and there's kind of a pecking order. We'd love to all hop in and play. That would be awesome. Get in front of a crowd again. That would be great. But
again, how come? What do you mean again?
Oh, well, we don't really get to play much anymore because we've got our jobs and we got to take care of all the stuff. So.
But did you used to be playing in front of crowds?
Oh, everybody wants to make it big, but not everybody has what it takes. So I don't know. I never trained classically, and I don't know any magic, so I don't have that stage presence. And I don't know. I've just got my talent. you know, I can bang out the keys pretty rockin', but I can't, you know, I can't take it to that next level.
Oh, okay. Hey, Clovis, give him your lute. Let him see if you can rock out on your lute.
Hey, could you play a tune real quick?
Oh yeah, man. Like I'm not like a huge looter, but like yeah, I can strum some. So he pulls.
Well, thievery is wrong, so I'm glad you're not a looter.
He grabs it and he's able to make his way around it. You can tell he's a talented musician, but he's not. You know, Joe seemed like he was really over the top. Like that was his instrument of choice. Like it was very much like it felt right in his hands, kind of thing. You'd give this solid like 7 out of 10 for this guy.
Okay. All right. But the first guy was like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, he was great.
What are you saying?
He was awesome.
Okay,
it was awesome. It was rocking.
Thanks, man. Well, I really appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I'm a bit of a musician too.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. Well, you know, I don't think that we're hiring or anything, but like I can put in a good word, I guess. Like, do you have a resume or something? I don't.
No. I just was saying I'm a bit of a musician too. I don't want a job.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got a job. I have some friends I'm with, and we go on adventures. And
an adventurer, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I've really got to unload this stuff, man. But you can come by the merch table later. We'll have it all set up.
Are you guys setting up for the concert?
Oh yeah, we're gonna set up for the concert in the inn. Like I think that was the plan. Like I or at least that's what they told me. I don't know. Chaz is like, oh, you gotta get in there and like set up. Man, that guy is stupid bored of all the things we need to do. He's the band manager. The guy's a total like drow bag. Am I right? I mean, I know it's like nowadays like you don't say that, but like seriously, he's like you don't deserve to be in this industry. Like, come on, you didn't put in the time. Like somebody's parents like hand you down something magical and like instantly you're great at stuff. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. No talent. What a hack.
Wait, is that his magic wand staff thing?
Yeah, like he's got all kinds of cool like trinkets that, you know, it enhances the band, but you know, I just wish it was just about the music.
Wait a minute. I like look at Spangle and I'm like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, but where are we going to get 17 goats?
I know, right? If we go talk, we'll. You know who has the best goat milk around, right? Toblin.
Mm-hmm. I think we do. That's right.
And I'm like, let's go get the goats, and possibly the other thing I was thinking.
So these guys go back to doing their work, and they're, you know, they're hustling. They're not lollygagging. So they're kind of moving quick, got a quick pace, and they seem to be back to work.
Okay. Well, should we head to the inn, guys?
I could relax a little bit before the concert.
Have a drink and watch the show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, and I just take off. I head there.
So
you just want to watch them set up.
You walk into the Stonehill Inn, which is even from the people that went in to change earlier, it is continually changing. It is in a state of disarray as these boxes have been being unloaded and are getting dropped off at like record pace. Like you don't even notice. You can't quite imagine how they've moved as many boxes in as they have, because you've only seen like 3 or 4 loads get kind of carried in, and it seems like there is far more than that that's already been unloaded. So they're just, you know, they're boxes of merch that are just getting loaded to the ceiling, and they are setting up all kinds of like crystal balls and like different like pyrotechnic kind of things, like displays that are all for for this performance that they're setting up. They're building a stage. Like there's wood that's kind of coalescing and coming together, and you see the band members standing next to the counter, and Chaz is having some kind of a discussion with Toblin. Excuse me.
What is it? What does Toblin look like? What is the expression on Toblin's face? Is he?
He's like concerned and like listening like intently. Like, okay, yes, yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. Kind of. He's very. He's trying to be accommodating. It seems.
Right. I'll go up to the bar. I'll go up to the bar and just like sit as close as I can to the band without being too creepy, but just creepy enough.
Yeah.
Noticeably creepy.
So you overhear like it sounds like Chaz is being unreasonable, and he's like, goat milk, full fat goat milk, get us skim goat milk or else. That is an absolute order right now. I don't even know that. I think that one of my guys is goat milk intolerant. So you got to get me something else. This is absolutely, these kind of conditions are ridiculous. Do you understand that this is the biggest band in Faerun? Like, this is a big deal. You are going to get so much publicity, and we are the ones that are doing you a favor. We don't need this. We don't need this at all. This is rinky dink.
I like hop over the bar and I'm like, Tobin, I'll help, and I run in the back and I get the goat milk and I use minor illusion to make it look skim.
Yeah, and are you serving that to them?
Yeah, I'm gonna serve it.
Yeah, so you present it.
I'm like, oh, Tobin, I fixed it. It's so good. Don't worry about it.
Tolbin is bewildered. He doesn't even know where you came from. Like, he was completely transfixed on Chaz, the drow, and he was like, when Clovis, when did you get here? And he's you got some skim goat's milk? I didn't even know we had that in the back.
I'm just so excited to be here, and you put this all together. It's so amazing. You've done such a great job, Tobin. And that Chaz guy seems like an ass.
Chaz says, whispers carry. And knowing full,
he can hear me. Can he hear this?
He certainly indicates that he can. He nods his head to you, and says, I'd watch your tongue.
I said he was aspiring to greatness with that cool wand he has.
he just kind of rolls his eyes and goes back to Toblin, and just continues barking demands. Tolbin is very much, he kind of feels, it seems as though he falls back into a trance as Chaz begins berating him again, and he's becoming 100% yes ma'aming and gonna give him everything that he's asking for to the best of his ability. And he says, I'm off on my way to fulfill your needs. I'll be back as fast as I can. And he leaves his post and leaves the Stone Hill Inn unattended to go about whatever business he thinks is necessary and important. So there he is gone. It is you, Chaz, the band, and whoever else came into the actual to the inn.
So what can I get you guys?
Chaz looks at you. He says, "Nothing," and he just kind of gruffly turns his back to you and looks to his band members and he's like, you see him indicating like, look at this place, like his back is to you, but you assume he's like, rafters are so last year, like who does that anymore? This place, I can't, I don't even know why we're doing it. So he seems very appalled by the setup. Then you see him grab his wand and kind of flick it, and the wood that was all coming together to make a stage kind of poofs, and the rest of the stage is is completed. Like the last layer of wood to go down, you just kind of go and it's finished. So in record time, the stage has gone up magically, it seems.
Wow.
The
that was really quick.
The band is all sipping on their skim goat milk, and you can they're just like, I mean, that's what they got. I don't know. This place is fine. And they're going with the flow. So Tolbin rushes back in, and he gives some very, very, with heavy blankets in hand. He's like, these will be the most lush blankets that we have. That your accommodations will be extremely lush, and I promise it will be the nicest sleep that you have. And he drops off everything, and he points them in the direction of the A wing, where the nicest rooms are, and says, your rooms are all ready, and I'll have these extra blankets and extra pillows up in no time. And he runs right up, and leaving the keys on the counter. He seems frantic and not quite himself to you. So you see one of the band members notice that the group of you are all. Is everybody in the inn? Did you all come in, or are people outside?
Yeah. Bert and I are sitting in the back with drinks.
Okay, so
I was sitting at the bar watching all this unfold.
Yep.
Yeah. So the bassist, the elf bassist Brandon, who
Brandon.
Brandon.
Brett.
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 Is it
Brett?
Brett?
Brett.
Are you saying Brett? Brett.
Brett.
Brandon comes over.
Brendan.
Brendan.
Is it Brendan or Brandon? This is a big deal to me.
Brandon.
Brandon. Okay.
Brandon.
See, when you say it with that accent that you had him have.
Oh, is it Brandon? Hey. So Brandon, he sees you guys off at a table, and Spangle, you're, I guess, at the bar, and he comes over. He says, "Are y'all with the bloke over here that I signed the poster of? Oh, y'all here to see the show? I didn't know that we'd have too many people. It seems like it's gonna be a packed crowd, eh?" And he's poking fun that the town seems kind of dead, because there's nobody here in the inn right now, as things are getting set up.
Well, people are having to work, so maybe more people will show up later on tonight once the show kicks off.
Oh,
Besides,
yeah.
it's like a little outpost town. Maybe you should have thought about that before booking a tour here, huh?
No, you're right. It's right. I didn't book it. Chaz, he makes all the choices for us, and we just kind of go along our way. So it's fine. It's gonna be a great show. I think anybody that does come out is gonna be in for a real treat. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. How come Chaz is the one that's telling everybody what to do? Shouldn't there be a bit more of a democracy or something?
Oh,
I heard some of your roadies are some talented musicians you have.
Oh yeah, no, those guys are the best. Oh man, I say, you let the business people do the business, and we get to worry about the music. So it's real nice. It's a good setup we got. We get to be famous. We're the front runners. Everybody cares about the bassists. That's who gets all the chicks. Am I right? The bassists, right here.
Well, you know me. I'm all about the bass.
He's all about that bass. No, treble. Yeah. Oh, I get you. It's funny. Yeah. But if you're a fan, I can, I can sign something for you or whatever. If you're a friend of the little guy, it's
And I like see them talking over, and I'm like that.
So you see the other three, kind of like they're once again noticing that Brandon is out and talking amongst the normal people, and they're kind of like miming him talking with Spangle, and like he's showing that he's trying to put down his game, and kind of like mac on Spangle. So they're miming and mimicking and making fun of him from a distance. They seem very close and but very juvenile, and it's clear that they're making these gestures that to discourage anybody from being swayed by his fame. So
I'll purposely body mime. I'll do a performance check of trying to project like I'm super interested, like more for their benefit than
sure.
for actually his. Not that I'm a great
performer. So he takes your performance as maybe a little bit more serious. He's like, so what's your favorite song? What's your favorite bass line that I play? I'm pretty famous. This is how famous people talk.
Would Spangle actually know? I mean, are these guys actually famous?
I think I hear this conversation, and it's like, and I'm like, it's all in. That's his. But he says it's all in. That's the song he really does really well. And
yeah. I wrote that bass line, and he kind of loses interest in this person that doesn't seem to be a hyped super fan, and is drawn back to like he kind of he opens up, and he's trying to talk to kind of both of you at the time, like because he's got this rainbow haired high elf that he's trying to impress, but he knows that the best way to impress is through talking about all of his accomplishments. I wrote that bass line, and then all in. That was mine. I came up with that. It just came to me one of these days. We were playing a game of 3-card ante, and throwing the dragon bones, and I said, bum ba-dum bum bum, dum ba-dum bum bum, I'm all in right now, and it just kind of stuck, and then we rolled from there, and I won that round of dragon bones, so I guess I'm a winner 2 times over.
Clovis, can we get some beers?
Sure. And I'm fumbling around. Do I know where the beer dispenser is?
Been there before.
Yeah, you've seen Tolbin dispense brews. I don't know. It's mead, I guess, is what he's got. So you got some honey mead that's behind the counter. It's in a big old jug.
Right. So I fill it up, and I walk it over. I'm like, here, Spangle, and here, Brandon.
Yeah, but Brandon
on the house.
Brandon's holding his mead, and continues talking about himself, and waxing and waning about all of his accomplishments and wonderful songs that he's written, and continues going on.
Did Tolbin drop the keys on the counter here for the band?
Yeah, and Chaz picked him up. He's got the keys to the room.
Oh, okay. He already picked them up. Okay, you didn't describe that, so.
Sorry, no, he's running back and forth, and Chaz has all the keys and has continued going on about his things and doing all of the various things that need to be set up. And around you do see that the room is just kind of popping to life. There's all kinds of stuff that is getting set up without any assistance, and the room is filling with all kinds of goodies. You see like different what seem to be there's like crystal balls that somebody nudges, and then like a some kind of a spell like seeps out and kicks on, and there's like for just a blink of a moment, like there's smoke, like lights and lasers, and like a full crowd shows up for a second, and then they blink out of existence, and it's just like an illusion for a moment, and then they're gone.
Wait a minute.
And one of the roadies says, "Oh, it's on me. Sorry, guys. That's on me. I think it's fine.
Was it Joe? Was it Joe the roadie?
No, it was one of the other three. You haven't seen Joe since. So you do notice that you are, that they're just setting up everything. Every nook and cranny, it seems to be getting some kind of what seem to be like magical items, and performance props. There is a really super impressive merch table that's getting set up, and it's like very over the top. Like again, for the crowd that you've seen, which is a zero influx. It's you guys.
I run over to the table where Beatrice is. I pull her over. I said, Beatrice, you got to meet this guy. And I walk him up to the human that had the the guitar, and be like,
oh, the big guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, Beatrice, this is the guitarist for B4.
No. He's bringing up to the human. And he says, it's Brad with 2 D's.
Oh god.
Brad with 2 D's. Good God.
That's just how God made me. So.
I don't know. Beatrice doesn't know how to react, seeing as she hasn't really ever heard of before, but has never really interacted with famous people.
Sure.
Especially ones that she's never heard of before.
So how are you gonna react?
Nice to meet you. Like not really knowing.
Sure. So the elf who's sitting right next to Brad, like he extends his hand, and when he says nice to meet you, and do you go to shake it also, or
yeah?
Okay, so before you shake it, he like you're coming in and to shake, and he slips somehow he magics his glass of skim goat milk into Brad's hands before you can clasp it, and he loses. He's going for a handshake, so his hand's open, and he just kind of like fumbles to grab it, and the milk spills all over Brad with 2 D's. And then he looks at the elf, and he's like, I'm gonna get you for that. And the 2 others at the table are just rolling in laughter. So it's he was being nice, but they're joking on each other pretty hardcore. And the elf stands up and he says, I'm Bradley. It's very nice to meet your acquaintance. So he
is that the flute player?
Yeah, this is the flautist.
Oh, the one that looks like Link.
Yes, the one that looks like Link. And then the tiefling with his violin that he does have still in his hands, stands up and tosses his dreamy hair, tussles it with his horns. He says, and I'm sure you know, I'm Brad, just 1 D. And he kind of gives this low bow, and he's because clearly you've heard of Brad,
with 1 D.
With 1 D, the normal spelling. We'll just call it Brad. Yeah, Brad and Brad with 2 D's.
Double D.
Brad,
double D. Brad. So he's in this very deep bow, and he's kind of like, you see him kind of like look up from his deep bow to see like your reaction, because he's expecting like that he's kind of waiting and listening for you to hit the floor with a swoon. Can I get a constitution? No, give me an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Nice.
You feel as though his even just his bowing and making eyes with you, there was like a pulse that he sent out, and you're able to kind of shrug it off and not really even think about it, but you felt something. And he's very like, he looks up and he's like, you can almost feel like he's counting the seconds of like, why hasn't this happened yet? And then he, slowly raises his head and says, I will be checking out our rooms. And then he kind of, excuses himself and goes back to his room, or towards the rooms where they believe the A wing is, interestingly named. So
it's complicated up there. It's very complex.
So
I turned to Beatrice. I'm like, that's really weird. What happened with that?
I have no idea.
So
there was something, I don't know. He's weird.
Brandon and Bradley, he's just used to people really swooning over him. He's the heartthrob. I mean, every group's got one, right? So he's always caught off guard when he meets people that aren't super fans. So they kind of like, they're laughing and having a good time, and Bradley offers up a napkin for Brad to clean off his lap, and you see Brandon over talking with Chaz, and then Chaz kind of like motions that they should get their stuff together and go drop off their stuff in their room. So Brandon comes over to the table and he's like, "Oh guys, we got to go to our rooms and get situated. They've got all of those wonderful towels and blankets. They're supposed to be very lush." And he just kind of like motions like, "We should go. We'll see you guys at the concert. Huh? I'll be looking for you." and they're off on their way.
They are lush. Those blankets are lush.
You actually noticed that it seemed like that one of the blankets might have been blanket from Spangle's room. You don't know for sure, but it sure looked like one of them, because I think you guys had like horse blankets and stuff too. But they are off, and stuff continues to set up without them being here. So it's all kind of like clicking up together and setting up.
Is Joe the roadie still in sight?
You haven't seen Joe.
You haven't seen him since he ran off.
Since he ran off. You've seen the other three roadies pretty regularly in and out.
Right. Did you not say that when there was like a flash of lasers in a crowd that he said, "Oh, sorry, my bad."
It was not Joe. It was one of the other three.
It was not Joe. Okay. So whichever one that was, I would like to approach.
Sure.
And I will say, "Hey, that crowd thing, can you control that?"
Yeah. Whenever there's a need for a crowd, we pop that thing right on. It's one of Chaz's many magical inventions to make sure that we've never had a dull show.
Sure. Can you could you make are you playing? Are you adding crowd to the show tonight, you think?
I guess it depends on who all shows up. We don't need it for most of our shows, but
you might need it here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the case. Sorry, I sort of sound like that other guy that runs the place.
They all kind of run together after a while. We know how it goes.
We might be related or something. It's he got me this job. It's a nepotism thing. My dad.
What's with this Chaz guy?
Yeah, what's his deal?
He's the best manager in the business. I mean,
is he though?
Yes, unquestionably. He's produced every single major hit in the last 10 years. You can't have a catchy tune without him. And even the not so catchy ones, they seem to be hits too. He's done something amazing. Anybody that hears these songs, it's a rough time getting them out of your head. So you gotta lend it to him. The man knows what he's doing. we all just had a chance to maybe work with him. That's we put up with the pop music, and it's not my cup of tea, but yeah, I mean, you could work with Chaz, and you've made it.
Did Joe ever get a chance to work with Chaz?
Oh, he's biding his time. I'm sure that he'd like to. He lends his talents.
Where
You guys are so lucky.
Where is Joe right now? Have you seen him?
Oh, I think he may have ran off and making water. You know what? He's always got that irritable bowel syndrome. He's always going off to go to the bathroom.
Still?
Yeah. Oh, it could be for hours. We might not see Joe till the concert, or even then. He's got a problem, man.
Okay. I turn to Spangle and like, and now are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think so. Are we gonna go find Joe?
Oh, you actually are thinking what I'm thinking. Spangle, yes. But there are 14 goats right outside.
Well, I needed 17 for my plan to work, but
is it 17? Damn it.
17.
Damn it, 17. Okay. All right. Well, I'll work on getting the other 3.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I think we should go find Joe.
I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'll join Clovis.
I feel like there's a.
Thanks, Kair.
Yeah, when I see
Corbin, you should come too because you're really good at tracking things.
If you need help, I'll happily track for you.
We gotta find this guy. Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, this is what I'm thinking, guys. Okay, I know I'm gonna sound crazy for a second. Okay. So just I saw that eye roll. Okay, so I think that Chaz enchants people to like the music, and that these guys can't actually even play. I think that the other people play, like Joe or that other guy, like that other roadie, and I think that Chaz is bad.
Yeah,
I have an instinct on this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking maybe we could I don't think we're going to be able to find like a dispel magic anything scroll or something in this little town. I doubt it, but that'd be good.
Yeah, I think the way
fantasy
that people
vanilla.
Yeah, I think the way that people are treating us is not okay. Like, Brandon, he signed this. Now I realize he just wrote "love Brandon." He just loves himself. He doesn't love Brandon.
It's okay. That tiefling was a little sketch too,
Yeah. What did he try to do to you?
I don't even know.
Oh, I know how men think. I know exactly what he tried to do to you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know how men think. It's disgusting.
Nice little head whip there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so who's with me? Or us?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I like. I love the commitment, guys.
Man, you guys are really all in on this one. All right, so
I know it's like the song. Come on, guys.
Just like the song.
Clovis,
just like
I was entertained by Clovis acting all starstruck, so
Yeah, but now I realize it could be all a scam. Look what Spangle found, these things, and I touch one of the globes. Like, what happens when I press on one of these? Like, I just think hit one of those
yeah, one of the projector things. No, nothing happens. You feel like when it happened, it was more of like it got jostled and like clicked on by accident kind of thing. It wasn't. There's not like a clear on switch.
Okay.
Would that be something that an Arcana check might have a better idea on?
Sure.
I mean, it might be better for one of you magic users could have a look. I mean, my Arcana is.
I could certainly try it after watching you try, because it doesn't look like you've ever tried that before. But I'd love to try and see if I can get it to turn on. If
Yeah.
we didn't accidentally just break it.
No, it's not. It's not broken.
I may have just done that.
Then
I will.
I'll give it a whirl.
The band
and
might
see if
be
I
upset.
can-
You didn't do much better.
Do you have inspiration?
No, neither of them do. So, yeah, you guys are off over fumbling with the some of these devices that are set up in corners, and Chaz happens to walk back in. What the hell, guys? We have a total, like, the three of you together. No, that's not anything to be proud of. We just cracked the 20 mark with 4 rolls. So Chaz walks down, says, "What are you doing? Get off of our stuff. Do I need to set somebody to watch post? I didn't know that we had a bunch of thieves and misfits in this town. What are you doing with my stuff?"
Well, we're not thieving. We were just so impressed. We wanted to see, how you are able to make such an amazing show.
Give me a deception check. He says, "Yeah, well, when people of lesser power are brought in contact with amazing magical things, I guess curiosity is what kills the cat. So be careful."
Sorry.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's actually threatening Lexi?
Sure. Yeah, he seems like he's doesn't want you touching his stuff.
But like, is it a death threat? Like, is he like?
It didn't seem to be like you don't get any feeling one way or the other than like it's a person that would be bummed that somebody was touching on their stuff. Like, you think that maybe he's concerned that like he needs to cover his merch table at night, kind of thing.
Just don't touch his stuff, guys.
That's fair.
Sorry. And I'll wander out of the inn. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go, Joe.
Let's go.
Yeah, so you see him kind of like casting some what look like glyphs in the air, where with his wand, and then kind of like whispering into it, and then continuing, like he kind of glances at you guys, side-eyed, and then he throws up a couple more glyphs in the air.
And as we walk out the door, I like, are we outside now?
Yep.
I lean over. I'm like, man, he is a drow bag.
I don't think he likes us very much.
I think he's something's up with that guy.
I also don't think he likes anybody.
I think we should roll him and take all his stuff.
Oh.
Define roll.
No.
Wait a minute. Is that why we needed 17 goats?
That would probably do it. I mean, 17 goats.
Stampede the goats, and then while they're all distracted with the goats, and you swipe that magic wand that he's got, and I'm sure all his power well, let's see here. Joe did say trinkets, so there's probably lots of different trinkets. It's not just all that wand.
Are you suggesting we steal from before?
Listen.
I like this plan.
There's orcs. There's orcs are big meanie heads. And while I can appreciate they're sentient creatures, we agreed they're meanie heads and we killed them. So we can agree that he's a sentient creature and he's a meanie head. It's not quite good to kill if we can avoid it, so let's not kill him. But maybe he doesn't deserve his stuff. Maybe his roadies deserve it more.
I'm not beyond doing this. I'd like a reason. Like, if Joe could give me something. Like, there's too many weird things happening for me. And you know me, my mood changes like the wind.
I think it's worth investigating before we start.
I think it's worth investigating
stuff.
Because like everybody else here, we are drawn to adventure.
Thanks.
When you say it like that.
It feels very directed. Well, guys, it is 10:30, so I think what we're gonna do is we will leave it at Joe is somewhere off, not to be seen. Chaz is a real drow bag, and you are formulating a plan just outside the inn.
Did because of Corbin's roles, did we get back in time to take a rest?
Yeah,
no?
you guys have time to rest up before heal. I don't know. Yes, before the show.
Do you want us to use hit dice, or do you want?
No. You guys will have a long rest.
Oh, okay.
A long rest?
Yeah, you'll get a long rest.
Do we have a long rest before we go searching for Joe?
No. If you're doing that right now, I mean, like the next thing, but you should be able to have time in between. So.
Okay.
I mean,
so
yeah.
You mean finding Joe and then the concert is what you're saying?
Yeah, if that's the order that you do it, yeah.
We could find Joe, take a rest, and then cause mischief.
Yeah. You guys will be able to take a long rest before there's mischief happening. You know what? Screw it. You can have a long rest before you find Joe. You took a long rest on your wonderfully amazing rolls getting back to here. People were able to rest and be carried one at a time.
Yeah, because Corbin got he rolled a 20, a nat 20, and
he averaged 20.
Yeah, it was a bonkers roll. So you're good. You have long rest action going
bonkers
on.
Is my mace.
Too bad we don't roll those when we try to fight.
Yeah, potato.
True.
All right, guys. So we'll pick this up. We will discuss as a group whether or not we are going to play this upcoming Monday, because I know that we have one. We're going to be short at least one person. Knowing that ahead of time, I don't know if we're gonna all want to have a break, catch your breath, and hold out, or if you want to, we can shoulder on and not have any, not miss a beat. So we'll talk about that throughout the week, and figure out what we're gonna do for next Monday. Sound good?
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm going to put our BRB screen up in here in a minute and give us a 5-minute countdown for me to go to the bathroom and get Overwatch ready. Da 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 da. I'm loving it.
Oh boy.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jay.
Hey, guys.
Yes, thank you for showing up.